All right, everybody, you know what time it is. The Real Talk Sports Show is coming up right now. Everybody, welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we thank God for those of you who are watching us live on the many portals. First of all, we want to put on my night driving shades. I'm not going anywhere, but I like the yellow shades. Yeah, so thank you for those of you watching. First of all, you watching on a replay on YouTube, on Periscope, Twitter TV, or on Facebook. We appreciate you because I know kind of you got to catch it after you get home from work, whatever have you. But we also have a big shout out to the live audience on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Periscope, Twitter TV, Twitch TV, and on Roku. That's right. We're on Roku on the Phoenix Entertainment Channel and also on C Room Sports and Entertainment. That's right. We be everywhere. Well, we can't go anywhere, though, without our esteemed group of co-hosts. First, the most beautiful, or absolutely one of the most beautiful women on sports talk radio or on television. And you will see for yourself, the queen, Twee Dolman, is in the building. Welcome back.
Hi, Jonathan. Thank you so much.
Isn't her hair so lovely? Look at that bright smile. Oh, that's a queen look all the way, boys. You have to know that. Well, but we also have a champion. Not one, but two-time Super Bowl champion, over a decade in the NFL, a proud HBC graduate, and one of the state of Georgia's best players when he played at LaGrange High School. The one and only champion himself and the motivational speaker, Tyrone Poole, is back in the building. Good evening, sir.
Hello, everyone. How you doing?
Sir, we're very, very excited to be here. Excited to see both of you after a very frenetic day for the minister.
All right. Sounds good.
Lots going on. So as we always do it, we want to go around the room and see what you guys did. I'm going to Tyrone because he normally has like a pretty standard fair weekend, but maybe this week he did something different. So let's go to Tyrone. Poole, the weekend encapsulation for you, sir.
Just typical weekend. I did go to a wrestling match. Took my daughter. She likes wrestling, WWE. So we went there and had fun. And, I grew up around wrestling. My dad was a real big wrestling fan and used to see it every Saturday. And when it comes on, wrestling #2 and the Superstar and Thunderbolt Patterson and Tony Atlas. And I remember all those wrestlers. So, my daughter, she's into WWE and, it was entertaining. Some of the wrestlers, it's just like preseason football. Some of the football players out there right now, you're like, come on, man. I know he's not going to make the team. Then the good wrestlers come on. You're like, okay, now we got entertainment going. So it was kind of fun going to the WWE event.
Well, I'm telling you, that right there is something a little different for Tyrone. He actually did something a little different. All right. Twee Dolman, how about your weekend, ma'am?
Well, for me this weekend, I actually just rested because I have been going nonstop and I needed rest and relaxation. So that's what I did. I had some me time this weekend where I just watched some movies, relaxed, facial, different things like that, face masks and self-care. So that was my weekend, and it was definitely well needed.
See, Tyrone, that's why she got the extra glow. She said she got the mask. She took the whole weekend off. Probably had the phone on Do Not Disturb. Yes, indeed. Well, y'all probably thinking, well, nobody cares what I did for the weekend, but yeah, I survived it. I worked my regular job at Allen Vigil Ford in Lincoln. Thank God for them. They have once again re-upped as our gold level, premier level sponsor for high school football. So a big shout out and kudos to them. Thank you so much, folks at Allen Vigil Ford, for doing that. Like I said, great guys, and Mr. Vigil's a good guy, and hopefully we'll have him on the broadcast sooner rather than later. And rest of the weekend just got ready for the start of massive football coming up, starting with high school football this weekend coming up. So I tried to get some rest. I'm trying to do a little something. Getting ready to move also. So we started moving some stuff in the storage, but enough of that. It was a great weekend for everybody, I think, all around the world of sports. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to actually take a listen. And speaking of high school football, I got some video. Hopefully it'll work this time. Today I went to the Corky Kell Classic Kickoff Luncheon. Now, Tria, you familiar with that at all? The Corky Kell Classic? Have you heard of that before?
I have not.
Have not. Tyrone, now I know you done heard about it, sir.
Yes, I've heard about it. Yes.
Well, the Corky Kell Classic is kind of the, I guess, for lack of a better term, the big, huge kickoff weekend for high school football. They play not 1, not 4, not 6, not 8. They play 11 football games in about 2 days. And the culmination, they play 11 football games. 11 teams are playing, and they have a total of 22 teams, 11 games. The last 5 of them are being played at Mercedes-Benz. So if you are a high school football aficionado, you can get your fix. You can start the day at 9:45. I think the first game starts, and the last game is scheduled to kick off at about 8 p.m. So if you like high school football, you just get your tickets, hang out at the Benz all day long, or they got some premier matchups that are going on in various parts around the state. The Coolers hosting, I believe it's our good buddies over at Tucker High School. They have a brand new coach, Coach Thompson. He'll be over there. And they got a huge matchup, North Gwinnett against Hoover, Alabama, which has over the last couple of years been one of the top-rated high school teams in the country. So first time ever a non-Georgia team will be playing in the Corky Kell Classic. So yeah, it's going to be just big stuff going on all the way around. So I look forward to covering that if I don't get worn out. So next week y'all might have to take over the whole show because I don't know what I'm going to be like after covering some of them games. I don't even know. All right. I'm going to ask you guys a question. Have you guys heard the breaking news coming out of the Falcons camp regarding COVID? Have you guys heard anything that's going on?
I have not.
Tyrone?
No.
All right. So the breaking news is the Falcons are the first NFL team to report back to the NFL that they have 100% vaccination on their entire team. Everybody's been vaccinated. Everybody's allegedly good to go. I don't want to make this political, but what do you guys thought about the idea of, having to be vaccinated to basically do your job?
Well,
yep.
You go ahead.
No, we'll go you first. Tyrone, I think I think Tyrone's got a lot to say, so we'll let him go last. Go ahead, Tree.
Yeah, well, the thing that I understand is that if a job forces you or tries to force you, because nobody can force you to do anything that you do not want to do, regardless of if they are offering you a paycheck or not, is your body, is your choice. But if a company is telling you that in order to work for them, you have to take the vaccine and you don't feel comfortable with doing it, then obviously you need to start looking for different work. And I think that that's something that is actually going to start happening more and more, going off of what things are being said. But I do also want to point out, because everybody's just talking about getting vaccinated, and so many people are thinking, oh, I have the vaccine, so now I'm just good to go. And you're not, because I cannot tell you how many people I know personally who are fully vaccinated and they've still caught COVID. Yes, the cases have not been severe and they have not been in the hospital on ventilators or things of that nature, but people who are vaccinated can still catch COVID, and a lot of times they still do. So I really don't think that getting 100% of the players fully vaccinated is going to stop having teams not be able to play a game because some of their players test positive for COVID.
All right, Mr. Tyrone Poole, your thoughts about that? I'll put the question up here on the screen. Do you think an employer should mandate employees to get the vaccine to work? Tyrone Poole.
Well, my opinion on this, I'll start with two words: free will. You can't act on someone on behalf of someone else. You can't force anyone to do anything. I don't care what it is. We live in a world where people want to make decisions for other people. And then when that decision doesn't work out, nobody wants to hold accountability. So if you're going to make a decision for me, then you hold accountability for me then. So again, free will. Second thing, the vaccine. Now, I'm not against vaccines. I'm not. I'm for making Americans as healthy as possible. But at the same time, there are other options. Now, when you go to take away people's options, then you become a dictatorship. And that is wrong. 1,000% wrong. So regardless if it's a job or whatever, again, that's why people need to educate themselves so they can take all of the abilities that they have within themselves and create their own entrepreneurship. When you're in control of your own self, then you don't have to worry about the city. But so many of us are in a situation where we rely on other people, and we need other people. We need other people. You have to have relationship in order to grow, no matter what it is. But being put in the wrong situation can be detrimental, and there are consequences. But if you do the right thing, use wisdom, and just use what you have inside of you, then you will lessen the opportunity for you to have to be forced to do something. But again, there are other ways. You don't necessarily have to take the vaccine. You can actually go and get tested every whatever number of days. So there are other options. But when companies start forcing you down one pipe, then that's dictatorship. And that is violating somebody's free will.
Well, I think that that hits a lot of key points there. I'm gonna go ahead and jump in here. So for me, the biggest problem I've had with the way everything's been handled in general is the lack of, like you mentioned, giving options. There are actual doctors, not quacks, real life doctors have talked about, especially actually with all people, that taking higher doses of vitamin D have been proven and have been shown clinically to be a great assist, either stopping people from getting COVID or preventing it from being very severe. Also, there's talk about boosting your immune system in general, using things like D, vitamin, zinc vitamin, elderberry, echinacea. All these things are all immune system boosters. And it's been proven that in many cases, people that have a stronger immune system are better able to fight off the COVID, even if they do catch it. But there seems to be very little of that discussed in the open marketplace of ideas. It's everything's about the vaccine, vaccine, vaccine. The other problem is that once again, the whole, what am I looking for? The whole narrative has changed. Initially, the vaccine was supposed to be the silver bullet. Then they said, well, we really didn't say that. What we said is if you get the vaccine, you'll be less likely to end up like really sick. And then they said, okay, oh, by the way, there's a variant that this vaccine may not work, so you have to get a booster. So that's where I have the problem, just the constant moving target and misinformation to what the vaccine can and cannot do, and also the lack of information by possible natural remedies. Are we looking at countries like in African nations, other nations where there might have been a lesser COVID problem? Even they said Haiti didn't have as big a problem as some other countries. Why is that? Is there no investigation to these types of things? That's my problem. My problem is, hey, one, you're not giving me all the information, and two, the idea of you telling me as an employer that you have no other option besides the vaccine, no capability of doing, rapid tests which are available on whether it may be a daily or weekly basis or bi-weekly basis, or however you want to kind of do it, as an option for those people not comfortable. So again, I just I just think at some point we're going to have to kind of attack this a little differently and, give people their ability to make choices for themselves. Because, I mean, both of you hit on the point is that our bodies are our own. Now, I've heard people talk about what about smallpox? What about this? What about that? Well, all those other different diseases, to the best of my recollection, they ain't telling me anything later about, hey, we might have a variant. You might need a booster. You got a shot. Like we took the measles. Once you had that shot, you could have when you were a kid. Here it is 30, 40 years later. Do they tell you come back for a booster shot? No. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I'll say this, and you hit on some things too, Jonathan. This is what they don't tell you. There are other alternatives. Like you said, zinc, vitamin D. I had that in the back of my mind to speak on that, but you beat me to it. So I didn't want to I could have talked probably forever just talking about this thing here, but it's good that all three of us hit on something that is knowledgeable to people, and that vitamin, taking care of your body is the number one thing, and people don't do that. They rely on alternative medicine to heal themselves. Well, if you go eat right, you exercise, and you know how different vitamins affect your body, then yes, you won't stop, period, something from happening, but you decrease the chances. It's just like in sports. Taping your ankles would not stop your ankle from getting a sprain or being broken, but it will decrease greatly the chances. So again, people, go educate yourself and start relying on other people so much for information. You have everything you need inside your own self. And I'll leave everybody with this. A wise man once told me, knowledge and its proper use wins battles. And some of us not using knowledge, man. We're ignorant. And ignorant is not a bad word. It's just saying that you don't have knowledge.
Well, on that note, folks, we're going to go to a commercial break. You're watching the Real Talk Sports Show, and we're doing as we always like to do, keeping it real and live here on the show. Listen, don't go nowhere. We're going to discuss a little bit more high school football, Coca-Cola Classic, and an interview with one of the top 200 high school players in the nation. But you ain't going to see it unless you keep it locked right here. We'll be back. Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net. The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice. All right, we're back here listening to the Real Talk Sports Show as we broadcast you on multiple channels. We appreciate all those of you who are watching us here on the live broadcast. Especially want to give a big shout out. We've been really growing our listener base. People coming in very slowly and find out we're on Roku. So big shout out to those who are watching us on the Phoenix Entertainment Group, not only live, but on demand. I see y'all. I see y'all out there. Again, you can see here we've made it kind of easy for you going here from left to right or right to left, depending on how you're watching. Right there in the middle. Let's put it that way. One of the most beautiful ladies on the air, Tree Dolman, and one of the great champions of the NFL, the state of Georgia, and a proud HBCU graduate, and a darn nice guy, the one and only Tyrone Poole. So we're all here, guys, and like I said again, that this whole thing about the COVID and kind of what is going on is, it's going to be with us for a while, I think. As a matter of fact, I'll just make this announcement here. Those of you who normally tune in to watch us on Friday night, you're not going to see the Tower Stadium game of the week. Unfortunately, that game has been postponed to September the 24th due to I don't want to use the word COVID outbreak because that sounds like both teams were hit with COVID. I think one or two players, and according to the way the protocol is, if even one player on the team tests, I think they've decided just to kind of shut it down or postpone the game. So, when you hear a lot of times when they say an outbreak, you're talking on teams that have as many as 80 or 90 players. They're talking about 2 or 3 guys that got it. Thank God nobody hospitalized, and the game has to be postponed again to follow the proper protocol. So again, just let you guys know the backyard brawl between Mount Zion Jonesboro and Jonesboro High School has been postponed. Tentatively, the new date is set up to be September the 24th. Just want to let you guys know that. So, like I mentioned, guys, Tyrone, you heard about the Corky Kell Classic. Did your team ever play in that when you were in high school?
No, to be honest with you, we did not. I think that is probably something after my time.
After your time, got you. Okay. Yep.
But here's my thing about it. It's good that they're doing that. But again, my thing always centers around money. It centers around money. So that's an opportunity for them to create money, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, let's start seeing more teams get involved. But again, they're going to bring the teams that have the biggest parent, friends, followings. So that's why you keep seeing those same teams all the time. So if your team is not being shown in this Corky Kell Classic, then you need to get with the other parents and tell them to support their kids, go buy them tickets, and I guarantee you your team will be playing in this what they call bowl series, the Corky Kell Classic. So but it's a money thing to me, but it's good. But good exposure for the kids, but come on, it's all about money.
Leave it to Tyrone to get down right to the nitty gritty. It's about that dollar. But, and it is, I mean, let's face it, it is that a lot of these showcases are that. I mean, if we really are honest with ourselves, a lot of these 7-on-7 tournaments, we heard, one of our favorite coaches here talk about that. And to me, as long as they don't overdo it and charge these guys exorbitant rates to get in, it is a lot of fun to play against your peers, guys you never play against. And one thing about the Corky Kell, which is kind of cool, is it kind of gives you not always necessarily a preview, but it gives you matchups that you normally don't see until you get into the playoffs, deep into the playoffs. You get these South Georgia teams playing, teams from Atlanta, or, teams from West Georgia playing guys from DeKalb County. So that's the one thing that's kind of cool, seeing those matchups. And we got a lot of them going on in this tournament. But yeah, of course, you're right. There's money. I mean, let's face it. I'm going to list some of the schools. Tucker. And not only the money, though, another thing, too, is a lot of these teams want to showcase their stadium, because I'm shocked. And Tree, I don't know if you've been around to see some of these schools like McEachern and some of these other schools. Have you been to some of these high schools and seen, or did you see back home schools that really look like college campuses, some of these schools?
Not back home, but definitely around the Alpharetta area. The high schools do look like colleges. And I was pretty shocked at the public schools that look like colleges when I first moved here. But yeah, I see that's just what it is. And also when I coached at Riverwood, how there's multiple gyms and just different things of that nature, which I think is great for a high school, but it's definitely on a large scale here.
Yeah, everything is regarding football, especially, is bigger in Georgia. And yeah, these guys are just, it is really incredible to me. Like I said, I remember going to McEachern and some of these other schools. I'm like, daggone it, man, these schools, I mean, really look like colleges. And it kind of made me feel kind of bad when I went back over to HBCUs right here in our area. I mean, I was like, man, y'all need to kind of, I mean, I'm not trying to say that everything is just all about, that, but I mean, my gosh, I mean, it should be something where, I don't know. I mean, that's just that's a whole nother story. Anyway, one of the guys we had a chance to go ahead, Tyrone.
I say about this, these classics that people are having, and of course they're utilizing the kids. What I would like to see, like you said, there's nothing wrong at all showcasing. But my thing is, what do you do with that money after you get it? Okay. Do you give the schools, and then how much do you give the schools? And then how does it trickle down to the athletes? Because based off of what I know, kids still got to pay for their own uniform. You got to pay to take the physical. You got to pay to get your shoulder pads. You got to pay to be on the team. So all this money that comes in, I'm like, where's it really going?
Ding, ding, ding.
So again, my thing, I have no problem. But let's be real with it. We're going to talk about it. Let's talk about everything. Like you talked about the COVID, the shots. Let's talk about all the alternatives. But you know what? People don't want to do that, because in order for you to filter that money for it to go to everybody, then somebody has to take money out of their pocket. And as we all know, again, a wise man once told me, there's no shortage of money. there's a shortage of distribution. All right, so take that and chew on it. How you like them apples?
I did a close up on that one. Ooh.
Well, I do know that they make a nice amount on parking and they make a nice amount on tickets. And that's even before you get to the concession stands. Because when I used to go and watch my nephew play, when he was playing, when he was 8, 9 years old on up, quarterbacking for these teams, and it was a lot of money being spent before I even sat down. And Lord forbid, I wanted to get some hot chocolate, which I always did to stay warm. So they definitely are making a lot of money, and the stands were packed, and it is a lot of money being made. That is definitely a fact.
Now, it's funny you guys mentioned that because I'm going to try to get both these interviews here. Let's see if I can get both here. These two young men here. One guy is a big-time lineman from North Gwinnett, big guy. Hopefully we can get him on. And also, I want to see if I can get the interview for the 4-star quarterback out of Lowndes, because it really kind of echoes to what we were talking about here in this. So let me see if I can get this here. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a quick short little interlude here. Actually, you know what? I have to do it the other way around. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys listen to this young man, because actually the perfect segue to what we're just talking about money and the change that NILs are starting to make. You're talking about college athletes getting paid as well. So let's listen to Curry Brown, 4-star athlete, quarterback who people refer to as a grown man, 6'4", almost 6'5", 220 plus pounds. And he's from one of the great high schools as far as reputation for football, especially Lowndes High School. And you already know. Let's go to Ja'Cory Brown, 4-star quarterback. All right, guys, we're here at the Corky Kell Classic getting things wrapped up. And this young man has been kind of almost the star of the show here, but he's going to introduce himself to you right now.
I'm Ja'Cory Brown from Lowndes High, and I play quarterback.
Look, man, it's got to be pretty exciting for you being here at the Corky Kell Classic.
Right.
What does it mean now you're a senior and getting ready to move on, I guess, to the U? Is that what I heard?
Yes, sir. 305, baby.
So what does it mean to be in this classic, in the same classic where the first time ever an out-of-state team Hoover is in the mix?
I can say last year, they missed us last year. We could have played them last year, but it's a great feeling to be in this classic. I mean, more or less just to get the football feeling back in the Mercedes-Benz, a place where I dream to be playing at on the next level. So, I mean, just it's a great feeling to have football back.
Now I hear that you kind of got used to being on the big stage as a little guy, that you played in the Georgia Dome when you were like 10 on the league.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I played, I don't know, I was probably about 6. We were the All-Stars, and that's probably every kid from a grade above me and that's in the class before me right now, and we all played together on the same Pee Wee team.
I hear everybody talk about your leadership. Kind of what are the 3 keys for you as you continue now to lead this team in your senior year?
Really just leading and by example and being more vocal and just overcoming adversity and not letting our team get too down on each other. And we're all going to make mistakes. We're young, so I mean everybody's not going to be perfect. So I mean you can't please everybody. And I mean instead of proving everybody wrong, just prove yourself right.
How exciting is it for you to come out in this time where finally now athletes as collegians can now get a little money, NILs? Are you excited about going to a place like the U?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no place like the U. There's no brand like the U. And I mean, there's a lot of good money down there. And I mean, as great as I play, I mean, I should make way more figures than money than.
Well, I know you and your family are going to be happy about that. Listen,
absolutely.
One more time, your name, your school, and the number if you want to watch the Corky Kell Classic and zoom in on you.
Ja'Cory Brown, Lowndes High, number 11, quarterback to the U.
Thank you, sir. And there you go. So there's a young man that's speaking right to the stuff that we talked about over the last few weeks about the NILs. And you can see he was excited about Miami, not necessarily because of the great campus. He didn't mention South Beach. He said the brand of the U, man.
Yeah, that surprised me, but I understand everybody has different goals. One thing that I did like that he said is that you can't please everybody, so please yourself. So I'm happy that at his age, he realizes that will save him a lot of trouble in life, not trying to please others and just worry about pleasing himself and hopefully also God. But the fact that he mentioned the brand about the university and the fact that he can make money there, but I understand that's what a lot of kids think about. Even when I do a lot of public speaking and motivational speaking, the kids are always asking about financial things and money. So I realize that is on their minds.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like you said again, I mean, and this is, I don't I mean, the kids are just basically doing, what the adults have been doing to them for years. I mean, at the end of the day, these kids are capitalizing on the brand of the school. I'm sure it's more than just that. I mean, I can't tell you some of the things he said off the record when a Georgia guy, a Georgia fan came up to him and said, "Hey, how come you didn't pick Georgia or one of the in-state schools?" I mean, he made a couple of comments, but Tyrone, it's besides that, there's recruiting issues. Do you like the recruiter? Don't like the recruiter? How did things go in your college campus trip? I mean, I'm sure those are things that as a well-spoken guy, he's not gonna come out and say. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, yeah, now the NILs and what you can get are going to be in the forefront as well. So it's going to be interesting going forward to see how this money train works. You might start seeing Tyrone high schools and high school players getting paid while they're in high school. It could happen.
I definitely think that will eventually happen because it's always the trickle down effect. But I think there would be a problem. I think the NCAA will still, you could lose that kid's eligibility is what I'm trying to say if they get paid. So what I think you're going to start to see happen, I don't think they get paid in high school, but I think what will probably, and maybe that will happen. I don't know. Let me take that back. But what I will say you're going to see more of, you're going to start seeing kids come in from middle school and their 9th grade year in high school. You're going to see them start to take advanced classes. And so that way they can graduate earlier, sooner, and by their senior year, they're already college eligible. And then they're going to enroll. Then they can start taking that money, very quickly and start getting companies to represent them, because you already see college coaches offering middle school kids, depending on how good they are. Hey, they're already offering these kids, 9th grade, already offering them. So I think you're going to start to see kids take advanced classes to where they're taking college courses. And by their junior year in high school, they're going to be graduated and ready to enter into college. And then they can start taking advantage of that NIL a year in advance.
And as we saw last week, a young man, one of the first guys in the country to do it. He was a 5-star QB, and that's exactly what he did. He went ahead and set up so he could get out of school early so that he could pre-register, and I think he is into Ohio State, so he could start taking advantage of his NIL. So, this is going to be an interesting story going forward as we move the dial down the road with both high school and college football and the money that both of them continue to generate. All right, guys.
Well, I will say this.
Go ahead.
Even though I'm not a fan of players doing that, but I just realized it is something that is about to start happening. I am a fan of education. And so if players are going to actually put forth the effort to get their grades and graduate early so that they can start taking college courses, I'm all for education, even if it is for a bonus of getting money. So that part I do like about it.
Yeah, and what some of the schools are trying to do, they're trying to come up with programs where that even if the kid is not a 5-star player, that he can go ahead and at least take advantage of getting a full ride scholarship. I mean, everything, all your meals paid, your room and board paid, everything. And I know, Tyrone, that's a big deal, man. If you ain't got to put no money out of pocket, that's a beautiful thing. Well, so we don't have to put any money out of pocket. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to do our business outreach, or I should say our business spotlight. But if you want to know what it is, you got to come back. All right, we'll be back. Blah, blah. We'll be right back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment. Stay tuned and don't go nowhere, please. Thank you. Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions, or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net. All righty, we're back. Listen, before we shift into our business spotlight, I do want to do this. I promised this young man, his mom, that we would play this clip during the high school segment. So before we go, it's about a 1-minute quick clip This is with a big defensive lineman, Mr. Caden McDonald out of North Gwinnett, and his team actually has the honor of being the first Georgia team to play an out-of-state team as one of the best high school teams programs in the nation. Hoover, Alabama comes to town. So this is the big lineman, Caden McDonald out of North Gwinnett, talking about what he thinks about squaring off against the big boys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here with the Real Talk Sports Show here at the Coca-Cola Classic. We have a young man here who's going to introduce himself to you right now.
My name is Caden McDonald. I play D-tackle at North Gwinnett High School.
Listen, now, how exciting for you to be a part of this Coca-Cola Classic that now is 30 years in the making?
It's really a blessing. Coach Stewart and the whole organization of Coca-Cola getting us together and playing against a great matchup with Hoover.
Yeah, so it's got to be big for you guys. The first Georgia team to play an out-of-state team and a team that's legendary like Hoover.
Oh, yes, sir, it is. We just been working. We coming together, getting better every day, 1% every day. And I just think we'll have a great chance to win this game on Saturday.
Now, listen, people are going to come out to see you. Give us your name, position, and number if they come out to watch the Coca-Cola.
My number is 55. My name is Caden McDonald. You can spell it with a Y or not. And you also come watch this game. It's going to be a really good matchup.
Phil, thank you for joining Real Talk Sports.
Thank you.
Very nice young man there with his, a lot of schools came with, the parents came with the students and also the athletic directors and the teachers. So it was just good to see everybody out, even though, again, we know it's all about money, but still, I shouldn't say all about money, but money plays a big part of it. But we were excited to see so many people out to support these young men. Again, if you guys got a chance to go, even if you can't go to Corky Kell Classic, go to one of the high school games. Sit up in the corner by yourself, put your mask on, and check these young men out and cheer them on. Well, speaking of cheer on, we got a young lady who you guys are familiar with this program. She is kind of making her own history. A black female that owns not only an event center right in the middle and the heart of Jonesboro, Georgia, but also it serves as an art studio as well. The lovely Madam CEO herself, Miss Temery Scott, welcome back. Temery, are you there? I see your smiling face, but I can't hear you. Let me try to unmute your mic. Hold on a second. Let me see if your mic's muted. Let's see. No. Mic is unmuted. Let's try it again. Temery, are you there? Maybe not. Okay. I see another smiling face there. Are you? Did you mute your mic by accident? I still can't hear you. Still got the mic on? She's checking. While she's checking the mic, I'm going to go ahead and do a little something for her here. She is having a wonderful event on Saturday. Once again, her pop-up shop is up and popped up. And this time is a little different. We're actually having young entrepreneurs. So they have some young people out that have signed up there. So you guys come on out. It's a free event for you to attend. They have several young entrepreneurs that are going to be showing their wares, kind of getting their kickoff in the world of business. So please come out and support them. It's located at the same spot, 106 North McDonough Street in literally the heart of downtown Jonesboro. It's this Saturday again from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. For more information, you can give them a call, 678-978-7855. And so we're going to check back here and see if Miss Temery Scott is on the mic. Temery, you there? Nope. We still can't hear you. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but somehow or another her mic is off. So we'll come back to her at some point in time. But Temery, your mic is off. I don't know if you can hear me, but we got nothing. All right, there you go. Well, anyway, like I said, one more time, guys, to let you know again, it is the Little Entrepreneurs Pop-Up Shop, 3 to 7 p.m. this Saturday. 106 North McDonough Street in Jonesboro, Georgia. Again, you can give them a call directly at 678-978-7855. So like I said, again, hopefully she'll be able to join us again with her microphone on. I see some folks trying to help her and make some adjustments there in the background. So hopefully she'll be able to get that up and running. And we'll be able to hear. I'm going to try to pop her into the screen one more time. Nope, her device is off. Well, anyway, so much for that. Sometimes this happens when you go live. Even the biggest and baddest channels sometimes have a problem when you're trying to bring people on from remote locations. All right, elsewhere in sports, guys, any breaking news that you'd like to talk about on the Real Talk Sports Show that kind of grabbed your attention over the weekend in sports?
Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow. All right, what's going on with Tim Tebow and why is that struck Miss Tree Dolman.
Well, I'm not sure if you heard, but the Jacksonville Jaguars cut him from the squad. And I know that he's disappointed, but I must say that I'm actually very proud of him because that was a bold move. But I always say that people should follow their dreams and do what they want to do in life. And so for him to actually go above and beyond and train and practice with the team, I think it says a lot about him. I never thought that he would make the team, and I thought it was a stretch for them to actually put him on the team in the first place. But I must say that I'm proud of him for following his dreams and for working hard, because it doesn't matter what age you are, you should always follow your dreams.
That's true. Tyrone, what are your thoughts on Mr. Tebow and his exit from the premises down at Jacksonville?
Again, you've heard people talk about favoritism. He was only there because of favoritism. But sometimes, like they say, favor isn't fair, or I say it like we say it, favor ain't fair. So, but either way, you had a lot of people that played the position of tight end, that when he first came back and said that he wanted to play tight end, there are a lot of people that were upset. These are guys who played tight end from years and years and years. And then all of a sudden this person wants to come in who, again, I put a post out there today that says, whenever extraordinary has a conversation with ordinary, you're always going to have conflict. So again, whenever extraordinary people have a conversation with ordinary people, you're always going to have conflict. But again, Tim Tebow, again, he showed that there are some things that you can wish to do, but that don't mean just because you think you can do it that you're going to be successful at it. So yeah, I applaud him for wanting to do it, but at the end of the day, it just goes to show, if you don't work on it, if you don't develop it, if you don't nourish it, you're not going to be successful at it. So let that be an example for everybody who's watching and listening, not just sports, but no matter what it is in life. You just can't pick up and say, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to wake up in the morning and, I want to go do this. No, you got to start nourishing it. You got to develop it, plant that seed, water that seed, do whatever you need to do to make sure that when it's your time that you're able to be the best at it. And again, it's just one of them situations that goes to show that he did something that he could not do. And there are guys, actually, like I heard a reporter say today, there are people out there who have been groomed to play that position at tight end. And he gets a shot and never played the position. But we know it was for certain kind of reasons that Urban Meyer wanted to bring him on. Was it publicity to give the Jaguars, who are in a location city-wise that is really not a good financial, situation for them, meaning they're not like the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are making more money probably than the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Urban Meyer, was he doing it to kind of bring his name to the forefront and using Tim Tebow? Because basically he said, hey, we can't put you at quarterback. You've already demonstrated that. So let's try you at tight end. So again, any good news is good news. So again, I'm pretty sure, like I said, Tim is a great guy, and he's been a great athlete. But again, my point is, the lesson is the principle. Some things you just can't do. I don't care how motivated you are. You don't have the skills to do it. And there are plenty of people out there who have the skills. We could even go back and talk about black people, and I'm not going to actually get into no racist situation, but there are a lot of people who are way qualified. But because of favor, the other person gets opportunity. And that could be vice versa. There'll be some other people who are well qualified, and black people get the job. So again, my thing is, whatever you're going to do, make sure you're able to do it. And that way you won't have no backlash.
Wow. There it is. There it is right there. Okay, what's we're going to do here? I'm going to pop up here on the screen because I think Tamara Scott is about ready to come on. I think we got her back here again. This is the event that is going on here, and I'm going to get her set. So you guys hang tight. Bear with me 1 second, and we're going to make it do what it do and bring Tammy back on. So don't go anywhere. Matter of fact, let me flip to a quick 30-second commercial, and we will be back in just a momento.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
All right, we are back here with the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Mr. Jonathan Simmons, and we are now going to once again try our business outreach. I believe we have everything working here now. We're going to go to the young lady who is the CEO, I call her Madam CEO, of Be Merry Events Center and Art Studio in Jonesboro, Georgia, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what they have going on this Saturday. All right, Tamara, are you there?
I am here now. Can you guys hear me?
Wow, so yes, we can hear you.
Thank goodness.
Now. Amen.
Okay. Technical difficulties. Well, hi guys.
How are you?
I'm doing well. So I know we've taken up some time with my technical difficulty here. So I just run through real quick what's going on this weekend. Providing an opportunity for young entrepreneurs. You know, this is a monthly thing I do with the adults, the monthly pop-up shop to have vendors of small businesses come out to sell their service and products. So what we're doing this weekend is we're incorporating our young entrepreneurs to come out with their businesses. And it is amazing the number of kids that we have on board here. Everything I tell you, from lemonade stands to hair bows to retail clothing to wood kits. I mean, you name it. The imagination upon these little ones are just awesome.
Well, we certainly are all excited to see that. Kind of what was kind of your genesis for saying I want to bring the young people on and let them kind of be involved in the pop shop and show off their entrepreneurial skills?
Well, mainly because, you know, all children don't learn the same, and we try to kind of box them in. And when people start talking about furthering your education and everyone taking the path to go to college, that's great. But what is innately in us sometimes is our own little entrepreneurial spirit. And kids are talented in so many ways, and they're creative. So I wanted to provide a platform for them, you know, the ones that have decided to discover their own capabilities and pursuing their own little businesses, an opportunity to have the exposure.
Patria, I know you do a lot in the community, especially with young people. What do you think about this idea of having a spot where they can do something from the business side of the house?
I think it's really wonderful. I love the ideal, and I love that the kids are coming with their lemonade stands, their bowls, and just different things that they're doing, because our children and our youth are very creative. And so for them to start businesses at early ages and do the hard work and put in the time and effort, I think it's great for them to have an avenue and a place where they can display and get people to come and support them. So this is really wonderful for our young kids and for their futures, to showing that when you work hard, it always pays off.
Absolutely.
How about you? I know you do a lot of motivational speaking with young people. What do you think about this pop-up shop for the entrepreneurs of our youth?
It's always good to help the youth. I think if you're going to help adults, you have to help them before they become adults. And when is pottery easily shaped? It's shaped when it's the wettest. And when are adults easily shaped is when they are children. So the more we can present and position them to be in situations that will help motivate them, stimulate them, and just help them become, have the mindset to be introduced to greatness, then I think we have better adults. So I applaud it. This is great that it's happening. And thank Tammy for doing that.
All right.
Well, tell me one more time, how can people, you know, now we do a date, time, and place. So what's the date, the time, and the place of this wonderful event?
Yes, so it is this Saturday, August 21st, and we're opening the doors from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And just to add to that, we're going to start hosting workshops for young entrepreneurs and adults as well, providing them with financial literacy and how to establish your business, you know, according to the letter of the law, the A through Z of what it is you need to do, and preparing these young people, you know, on the road to success for, you know, discovering themselves.
We're excited about it. And once again, we will be down there with WIGO doing some live broadcasting. So if you are an entrepreneur and you're there already, or if you just want to come and check it out for future pop-ups, who knows? You might be able to get your 30-second elevator speech. Well, okay, let me give you a 60-second. I shouldn't cheat,
yes,
right?
you know they all have to do their elevator speech.
Let me let you go ahead and
So
get that
that'll
in.
be interesting.
Right. So come on in, let you do your thing. You got 60 seconds, and then I might even have the little buzzer. And if you ain't finished in 60 seconds, you out of there. So come on down again. I'll pop it up on the screen so you guys can see it. It is the Little Entrepreneurs Pop-Up Shop. That is this Saturday, August 21st, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Be Merry Events and Art Studio, located 106 North McDonough Street in Jonesboro, Georgia. Again, you can give Miss Tamari Scott, our CEO, a call, 678-978-7855. Do I have that number right, Tammy?
You got it right.
There you go. In the first try. How about that? There you go. Well, listen, we appreciate you. Now, how can people follow you on social media? Let's see if we have our magic screen here for you. Let's get you by yourself here and tell people they can follow you, website, and that kind of stuff.
Yes, they can follow me at bemerryevents.com. That's BMARI events.com. Also at my Instagram handle is at bemerryevents. And of course on Facebook, Be Merry Events. So it's consistent across the board. And of course, you see the number there, 678-978-7855. We still do have a couple of spaces available. I just had someone last week to donate 2 spaces for the little ones. So we actually have 2 open tables for anyone that's still looking to come on board.
Well, there it is right there. I'll pop up on the screen one more time. There it is, guys. You must have come on the show before. We had that all set up for you. Isn't that something?
Hey, you know what? You guys are doing big things. So, you know, technology is good on your end. I'm just having trouble.
No, listen, I mean, I had my little indicator telling me low Wi-Fi for a second there, and there it goes again. So hopefully, prayerfully, all those of you watching live, hopefully we're not or blurry or shaky. Hopefully everything's good. If we are, hit me up in the comment box, and we'll try to do everything we can to get it fixed. Well, Tamara, again, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you back on again real soon. Remember, guys, it's this Saturday, 3 to 7 p.m., 106 North McDonough Street, Jonesboro, Georgia, for the Young Entrepreneur Pop-Up. So if you got a youngster at home, remember we got 2 free spaces available. Then come on out and show us what they got. All right, Tamara, till next time. God bless.
All right, you guys take care. Have a good night.
Right. Yes, I mean, it's good stuff going out there. We could also almost could have used that as a community outreach too. I mean, she's doing a lot of stuff with the youth. So that's I know both of you guys, because of what you do, are definitely excited about what you're seeing over there.
Oh, yes.
So good stuff. So speaking of good stuff, what do you think, Tree, about what you've been seeing in the summer league with our Hawks, and especially the player of their 2 draft picks, Jalen Johnson and Sharif Cooper, from right up the road here in Atlanta? Look at that big grin. Look.
Well, because you know I'm always honest, and you're not going to like what I'm about to say.
Oh, darn it.
So I actually have seen some summer league games, but I've only watched my Detroit Pistons. I have not watched any of the Atlanta Hawks because I have not really just been watching that much. And it just so happened that the Pistons were playing when I turned to it. So actually, I haven't seen the Atlanta Hawks. I must be honest. But I did like what I saw from my Detroit Pistons. Detroit basketball. I just had to say that.
Wow. Mr. Poole, did you get a chance to peek at the Hawks or hearing any of the news about what they've been doing in the summer league so far, sir?
No, I have not. I appreciate, this being an opportunity for some of the younger talent that probably didn't get an opportunity to play, and also those who are, those who not only are in the NBA, but also get an opportunity to play, but those who are trying to get into the NBA. So, it's a great opportunity to spotlight, a summer league. It's just like in high school, they have the feeder league, so it's a good opportunity for these kids, young men, should I say. It's like I'm old, but it gives an opportunity for them to continue to develop their game. But you're not going to see the people that people really pay their money to come see, because those guys are at home waiting for the real season to start, and most of the fans are doing the same thing. They're going to wait until their favorite player play. But there are fans that are watching and paying attention, and I just happen to be one of those that wait for the real deal.
Wow, he put out there. He said, "I want to see the real thing or nothing at all." Well, here's the good news. The Hawks players have been playing quite well. Both Jalen Johnson and Sharif Cooper looks like they are going to fit in very nicely with this Hawks squad. I know some guys are thinking that Jalen Johnson would be better served somewhere else because the Hawks already have kind of long, lean wing type players. But this kid seemed like he's really looking to get after it. He's a good defender, had a couple of big time blocks that they kind of replayed on ESPN. And then Sharif Cooper showed he got a little ice tray in him, hitting a big jumper at the buzzer to get the Hawks a win. And he looks like, I don't want to say it like this, but Trey 1.50. He's about that same size, a little bigger, got great handle. He's a good assist man. I think he's averaging around 7 assists so far per game in the summer league. And we saw in college, he was a 20 and 9 assist guy average. So I think he's the perfect guy to fill in. I do know they've signed, obviously, Lou Williams, but I think that Sharif could really be the guy that can give you a similar style of play when Trey is on the bench. So, I think they got 2 steals with these 2 guys. And I think that both of you are going to be very excited in the real season to see these guys come out and apply their trade for the Hawks. So, I'm looking forward to seeing both of them. The other thing, too, is that, Tyrone, you talk about, like, certain players, certain teams bring a following. Well, like I've told people before, Sharif's family has been very big on that whole family as far as the marketing engine, the hype, and, of course, both him and his sister have lived up to it. So I think that Atlanta fans are going to come out wanting to see him, and if he plays anywhere like he plays in Auburn, he's going to put he's going to put fans in the seats as well.
I agree.
Money. So we look forward to it. And Jalen Johnson, just so you know, Tree, he does appear to be a very good defender around the rim. So
hey, I love defense.
Right.
And especially when you defend the basket.
Right. 6'9", like I said, long wingspan, really trying to give you the same flavor of a Kangru, that type of style of player. So, again, I think the Hawks, man, I want to give a big shout out to Travis Schlenk because this guy's really come in. And, Tyrone, you know about it. You saw it over in New England, how critical it is to have personnel that can do what the coach wants them to do.
Definitely, that's what it's all about. It has to be you have to come in and fit what the organization is doing, and it starts at the top. You got to have vision, and the vision has to be passed on to everyone that walks through those doors.
I think it's seen with the Hawks. I think that they realized that they couldn't stand pat. If everybody's healthy next year, the Nets are certainly going to be a tough team to deal with both Harden and KD and Kyrie Irving. We know that Philadelphia already was rough, and we see the Milwaukee Bucks show that you can play old school NBA basketball and win a title. So the Hawks did what they had to do, I think, in the offseason. What do you guys think about the idea of them maybe still trying to find another traditional size big man? And Tree, I'll go to you on that question first. What do you think? Should they still look for somebody that big, or do you think they got enough with the bigs they have now?
I think our bigs that we have now are really great, honestly. If we can keep them healthy, I think we're good. So we had the number one the number one rebounder in the NBA. You can't get better than that because rebounds, we know, accumulate into points on offense and defensive possessions, which gives us more possessions. So I'm really happy with the bigs that we have. I don't think that we need to look any further. Hopefully, if we can keep the ones that we have and they can stay healthy, I think we're in a good place.
Tyrone, how about you? Do you think they a little bit more beef down there? You saw them struggle a little bit against Milwaukee and even to some degree against Philadelphia.
I think Tree nailed it. She nailed it. As they say, drop the mic on that. I do think you still have to be versatile. You don't want to be completely all big. I think the key to winning championships, you have to have a mixture. You have to have a mixture. You look on any championship team and any professional sport, even high school. We were talking about high school sports. If you go look at them, there's a mixture. There's a mixture. So you can't be all big, because if you go against some quick, faster teams, you're going to struggle. So you got to be able, in basketball, to me, it's all about being able to make adjustments. If you're going against a team that shoots the ball from the outside, you got to be able to match up. If you go against teams that like to throw the ball down in the paint and just dip that shoulder and try to go to the rim, you got to be able to have people down there. So I think the teams that are most adjustable and can have the best people to put out there on the court for that particular time, those are ones that I think win consistently.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, the way I look at it is if they could find another big, I mean, when I say big, I mean a guy that act physically is big, because one of the things that to me, I saw them having a little problem with when they went against bigger guys like Joel Embiid, when they went against Giannis, who not necessarily is physically much bigger, but still was able to seem to muscle them up quite a bit in the paint. I'm thinking if they could maybe get one more guy, or listen, maybe can beef up who they got, or find a way for them to do a better job of boxing out and not allowing those guys to kind of back them into the paint. That's a deadly thing. Once they get past that half circle, man, some of these big boys, you're just not stopping them. So they're going to have to maybe change their defensive plan if they kind of go with those type of smaller guys. But if not, I think they're going to need to add somebody else, one more big man they can bring off the bench, not to be necessarily, a starter or anything like that, but a guy that you can bring in to kind of bang it around. A little bit of this every now and then.
Bangers.
Huh?
We had some bangers. We just needed a little more help defense in some cases. And with Giannis, it's not like he goes in and posts up most of the time. He scores most of his points because he starts above the key and then he just drives to the lane, which is a problem. But yeah, I do think they could have played better defense against him a lot of times, but we have some bangers. I think our big guys do a great job of playing defense. We just need more help defense, and they just need to make a better game plan in some situations. I think another big part of the problem is that, honestly, their bodies were getting tired, and I think towards the end of the season when they lost in the playoffs, I think it was more going on there than just, I think they were tired, honestly.
And I say this too about Tree mentioned Giannis, and I got a couple of topics that I want to try to throw in, and hopefully I think one of them affects the baseball team here in Atlanta, and the other one question that I want to bring up affects everybody in the United States or around the world. But I'll say this. As far as with a big guy, and just like Tree nailed it with Giannis' game, he'll get at the top of the key and he'll drive, looking to run over you. It's kind of like an Earl Campbell, type of move. He's just going to run over you and go straight to the hole. But this is what I've learned too. A big guy like that, anybody, you can't play without the ball. So, yes, you may drive on me, but if I can knock the ball loose out of your hand, then it causes you to lose your focus and your ability. And I've seen Giannis actually drive, and he didn't make all the shots. He was not 100 for 100 when he did drive. So, again, sometimes playing good, proper defense and knowing how to rip that ball, strip that ball, and cause some problems with the ball handling can make those big guys go from 6'8" to playing to a level of your height.
Yeah, so I agree. You got to have some active hands. I guess what I shouldn't have really mentioned Giannis. One of the guys that kind of hurt him was Lopez, because Lopez was just a big old load, and they just were having a lot of problems dealing with him in the paint. And that's why I thought about the idea of getting somebody big in there. Listen, speaking of getting somebody big, this is our last shot for our big time sponsors to say a word to you, but don't go nowhere, because we got to wrap it up with some good stuff. Tyrone's got some things he wants to talk about, and we want to talk about how the Falcons looked in their first preseason game. Oh, buddy boy. Oh, we'll talk about that. All right, we'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment. Don't go anywhere at all, because we got some good stuff for you. Hang tight. We'll be back. There's nothing better than the sound of diesel in the morning. And what better place to get high horsepower diesel than the all-new 2020 Ford F-250, now with 475 horsepower and over 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. You know where to get it? For me, the minister, Jonathan Simmons at Allen Vigil Ford Commercial Sales. Because you know why? I'm the commercial truck guy in the shirt and tie. All right. I was grooving to the music there for a minute. Okay. We're back. The final segment here, the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Mr. Jonathan Simmons. Right next to me is the lovely Miss Tree Dolman and the champion, two-time Super Bowl champion, Tyrone Poole. All right, Tyrone, I know you got something on your mind, sir. Talk to us, and talk to us.
Yeah, I think it's a great segue to lead into what the Falcons are doing, as you mentioned. But a couple of topics. The Washington football team, they narrowed down their list of possibilities for a new name, nickname. So with them doing that, again, I mentioned how that possibly triggers or affects a team here, the Atlanta Braves. So again, we're talking about Native American names being used on professional teams. So again, the Cleveland Indians changed their logo, baseball, and the Washington football team, they got rid of the Redskins. So, but they now have found a new name. I think they're going to choose from three possibilities. So I think that is something that other teams out there probably going to have to find new alternatives for names as well. But I'll say this quickly. I think, me personally, the Native Americans, I support everything everybody does. And, if an NFL team, if it was me, if somebody wanted to use my name, I would say, yes, go ahead, as long as you're giving me something for using my name. I think that's the biggest issue. You're making money off of something that our heritage, but you're not giving nothing back to us, because at the end of the day, I think it keeps your heritage alive. People are going to always try to connect, okay, this name to where did it come from? And then people would do their history. So I think if they take care of giving them money, supporting that particular ethnicity, those groups of people, and also I think it helped keep that particular group of people keeping their heritage alive. So, but the Washington football team, they've narrowed it down to 3 possibilities of nicknames.
And,
Do you
and
know
those,
what those 3
and those are?
No, I don't. They're not going to disclose it. They're not. Of course, they're not going to disclose it. It's just they have narrowed it down to 3. So again, they keeping everybody on pins and needles. So again, they probably don't want anybody to go out there and purchase it on GoDaddy and everything, and now they own the name. So of course they're gonna let people know that they have narrowed it down to 3 names, but they not gonna tell everybody what it is, because you know how people are. They're going to rush and try to create some way that they can get ownership and be a dictator and tell you got to take the vaccine. I mean,
whoa, getting back checked. Look out, boys, getting back to the vaccine. Oh, snap.
Yeah, but that was one thing. And like I said, the Atlanta Braves, what are the Atlanta Braves going to do? The Atlanta Braves, are they going to change their name to something else? Or are they going to try to keep it? Will they support the Native Indians? What are they going to do to help, keep their heritage alive?
Well, go ahead, Trey. I'm going to let you go attack this first. And I'll save my comments for after you. Go ahead, Trey. Would you like to speak on that? What you think about the Washington football team? Your thoughts?
I mean, I feel that if people are offended, then yes, I think they should change the name. I do also agree that people should be compensated for the times that they did have those names, which let's just be real, we know that's not going to happen. But I definitely think that the name should be changed if people are offended.
And that's the operative thing, if people are offended, because it does appear that several Native American groups said they had no problem with it. Not so much the Redskins, but the Indians, kind of, especially because, one of their mascots was I think it was called Chief Wahoo. The guy had the full, chief regalia on, and I mean, he was coming across a little differently. Now, I do think that even if Cleveland Indians carry this name, because there was some talk about them wanting to be the Warriors, that to me should be the name for the Washington football team, the Warriors.
Oh, the Washington Warriors. That has a ring to it.
It makes sense. They already have the big W, kind of their logo already. And if you look at their old throwback uniforms, they used to have the gold helmets they didn't have the Redskins, actually had the R with the feather. We'll just change it to a W. And bam. You're already set. Washington Warriors, boom. And what you're doing is, when you use terms like Warriors or Braves, it's different than calling them Redskin or Indians. That's like calling a team like they used to have, the Atlanta I think they were called the Atlanta Black Crackers. That'd be like, hey, the Atlanta Negroes. I mean, I don't even think anybody would be too happy about that. But using the term warrior, using the term brave, using the term chiefs, that's a connotation of power. That's a connotation of people going to combat. And to me, I mean, I would think that you would be happy with that.
Well, that's what you say now, Jonathan. But let's go back. Let's be real. How did the Atlanta Braves get their name? You were all that, where they come? That's Indians, man. That's Native Americans. So you could try to what's the old saying, Jonathan? You could put lipstick on it, you could put eyeshadow on it, but it's still a pig, Jonathan. Okay, all right. So again,
wow, that's how we're gonna do it now.
I'm like the Atlanta Braves. Call it what it is. They didn't just pick the Atlanta Braves because we want to get people to be strong. No, they picked the Atlanta Brave because that was the name of a Native American, and that's what they wanted to use again. So let's be real. Let's be real now. Come on, let's like you said, it's a real talk show, right? Real sports talk show. Let's be real now.
I'm glad I put my jacket on today. Oh, okay. I got a white shirt on too. Okay, we're gonna do it like that. All right. You talk about the Braves. All right, here's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. The Braves. Now I know the early mascots just had the guy with the mohawk, and but again, that's how if you look at the Iroquois, Native Americans, that was their hairstyle. But that was a style of war. The Braves talking that chop, a chop, not you rubbing somebody's face. A chop is a chop. That's a tomahawk, man. You taking care of business.
I'll let you have it, man. But again, you can put lipstick on it, put eyeshadow on it, it's still a pig. So it still centers around the Native American. Everything you said, the definition still relates back, and it funnels back down to it's an American Native type of situation. So
all right. So what they gonna do now? Florida State, they got no problem. The Seminoles, like we like all the love. Now maybe Florida State give them a check, but they said you ain't heard the Seminoles or thought anything about Florida State because they come out like they don't come out like they come with a full Chiefs gear. They got the spear like we ready to war. We like some bad boys. So you ain't the Seminoles talking about, hey, and they're actually called the Seminoles. That's a Native American tribe. You know what I'm saying? Nothing about that.
There you go. So
I'm just saying it's all about how you represent them. If you represent them as fierce warriors, I think nobody should have any problem with that.
If you're giving something back, so we don't know what Florida State is giving back. So
see, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they might be getting a little check. So,
just like anything, I'm gonna step out there on this, just like Black Lives Matter. Somebody don't wrote us a check somewhere. We don't got quiet, man. I'm like, I'm like, for real. Let's be real, man. Let's actually keep this thing. Now, I'm not saying everybody is quiet, but you know what? We're not making as much noise as we were before. So let's keep going, man. Let's keep the energy going. But I'm not gonna go on that topic. But that's just me speaking personally. You know what? Sometimes people give you money and they shut you up and you don't say anything. So, that's just real talk from me, at least.
When you wish you had your shades here.
Yeah, I can't. The shades are in the car. Doggone it.
Yes, like they say, whenever extraordinary has a conversation with ordinary, it's always going to be conflict. Anyway, I say this right. Let's move. Brett Favre. I like this with Brett Favre.
I don't know how to take that. That last comment. I don't know how to really. Some of my spirit got kind of feeling some kind of way because you were like extraordinary meets ordinary. So I'm thinking to myself, well, he must mean I'm the O and he the E.
Well, I didn't call him no name. I just said I could have been. It's how you take it.
I'm taking it because me and you were talking. Tree was out. Yeah. She was back there grinning, like, look at these two guys. And so you're like, oh yeah, man. Yeah. When Storm makes ordinary, you know what happens. Wow.
Like I said, as the old saying goes, if a car hit a dog, he gonna holler. But if it's not you, then you don't answer to it.
Ooh, see, here's why he's doing this because I ain't got no shades. He know I got the shades on, so I can't like really get the thing.
Names, man.
Wow.
It could be for anybody. That's anything. You gonna let Tom Brady conversation about Tom Brady and bring in somebody else? Then it depends on your mindset. If you think you are the inferior person, then you're gonna take on the negative connotation. But if you know that you're just like the other person, then hey, who they talking about? They ain't talking about me. But again, like I said, you talk about the Braves and all. Confidence, man. Have confidence in yourself. But I didn't direct nothing to nobody. I just made a general statement, and I said me. I didn't point at nobody else. But hey, If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I'm not here, to pat anybody, rub anybody on their back. I just call a spade a spade.
Wow, they call me a spade. Wow, ain't this something,
You
boys?
think they're talking about you? Let me go ahead and say it, Jonathan. Let me rub your back, man. Let me rub your back. Let me rub your back. I was not talking about you. So going back out there and play on the field was not talking about you when I said we lost the game because of this, and that. I was not talking about you. So going back in the game, Jonathan, it's gonna be okay, buddy.
Wow, that's man. Then he capped off calling me soft on top of that, man.
I really need my shades tonight.
Hey, hey, man, just messing with you, man. But hey, I was Brett Favre. I did say there was something else that basically would affect everybody around the world. If you have a son playing football and it'll leave a segue into the Falcons, I'll be very quick with this one. But I agree with Brett Favre. Brett Favre has mentioned that he believes that kids should not play tackle football until they are 14 years old. Everybody concerned about CTE and everything like that, but I'm still a believer that you can get CTE doing anything. If you may not get it as much as you probably would with a more violent strike, but if you jog, if you do any type of jackhammering, or if you do anything, horseback riding, let's understand your brain sits in your skull and it's not tied down. So any type of movement jars. It's like having little tremors of earthquakes. You might not be in California. Football is California. You're going to feel it the most, but we have felt tremors here in Georgia. So, but I do believe what he's saying is correct. My son, he did not play tackle football until he got into the 8th grade. I allowed him to play flag football all the way up until the 8th grade. And I felt like flag football helped him to develop more skills of avoiding. Most guys, when they let their kids play, when their young males play tackle football, they put their uniform on and they try to run over people. And those are the ones I think get injured the most. But my concept was I wanted my son to develop the elusiveness of a Marshall Faulk, the elusiveness of a Barry Sanders. And you can't tackle what you can't grab. So flag football teaches your kid how to develop that to be not tackled. So again, I thought that was good that he brought that up, and I support what he said 1,000%.
Well, Tree, I'll let you. What do you think about the idea of maybe dialing it back, letting these kids start playing tackle a little bit older age?
I definitely agree with it. As I stated, I've been watching my nephew play since he was about 8 or 9 years old, and he was playing tackle football and a quarterback, and you know how they attack the quarterback. So there were plenty of games. I won't say plenty, but he did have some games where he got pretty hard, and I was about to run on the field. Of course, his dad was already down on the field, but things happen, and you do have some kids where they did question where kids were too old to be playing in this age division. And a lot of the teams, unfortunately, you have these parents that they're trying to take out players even at that young age, and that should never happen. And we know Georgia's a football state, so I definitely agree that children should play tackle football older, because it's always been a concern of mine.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what age they should start. I definitely think these under 8 leagues and under 10, I'm thinking somewhere around 12 seems to be pretty good. But definitely, I'm watching these kids at 8 years old, man, knocking helmets. And like you said, they're teaching kids how to lay into people and knocking kids out. I'm like, yo, man, these kids too small for that. I mean, I'm just watching them and literally watching these kids line up. And they've gotten to the point where they can imitate the adults so well that you go on YouTube, you go on the TikTok, you be seeing these 8-year-old kids, man, laying the wood, knocking dudes into next year. So I'm kind of thinking if you start that then and you continue to play for the next 25 years playing like that, I would think nothing good going to happen to you out of that. So in that respect, that's always been my thing. I think they start them too early. I think really it's become like everything else. It's become a money thing. It's been a prestige thing. A lot of people are living out their lives through their kids. So there's a lot of stuff going on behind that, starting these kids out that young. So, yeah, I mean, in that much, I think we agree. What the age is, I'm not sure on that. I mean, I think I'd have to rely more on some doctors and other people like yourself, Tyrone, that played the game to figure out when that is. But definitely, I think that there should be at the minimum 10 or 12. It shouldn't be 8. There shouldn't be no under 8, under 6-year-old, that kind of stuff. It just, even watching the kids run around with them helmets on, that they need to protect them, the weight of the helmet, they look like bobbleheads. You ever watch them? The little kids running their head, jiggling around, going like this, and the head is like a third of their body. You got a little kid, and the helmet is like 1/3 the size of the kid. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what age that is, but people should look into it.
What I do. Oh, you go ahead, Tyrone.
Go ahead, Ms. Tree. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that a big problem that I have with a lot of parents, and I hope you parents are listening to me, and I hope that you really do listen to what I'm about to say, because there's too many parents, like you said, who are living vicariously through their children, but they're making their children, and mainly their sons, and it happens with other sports with females, but with a lot of men in football, their families are making them think at a very young age, oh yeah, you'll be playing in the NFL. He's going to play in the NFL. He's going to do this, and then if that doesn't happen for that child, then the child feels like a failure. Instead of the parents supporting if the child wants to play football, but saying, hey, yeah, well, if that's what you want to do, you definitely can do that. You have to work hard. But I'm tired of hearing all of these parents say about these young kids, oh yeah, he's going to play in the NFL. No, the statistics mean that they're not. But yes, should you support your child? 110%. But you also should let them know, yeah, but if he doesn't want to play in the NFL, or if he doesn't make it to the NFL, he's still awesome. That's what more of our kids, and especially our young men, need to hear, because then when they do not get that scholarship to college, or they do not play in the NFL, then they won't feel like a failure, because their families have been putting this in their head since they were a little kid.
Yeah. And I throw this on too as well. When it comes to working out, lifting weights, parents, don't be mindful that your kids are still growing. Okay, cartilage is still being formed. So when you get a kid and you work him out, pounding his body, putting bars on his shoulders, which squats is what I'm talking about, and you're compressing that child's spine. So, do we ever sit and think, maybe when this child gets 25 years old, and we've had people become 25, 30 years old talking about they got low back problems. And then you go back and do history search. They were athletes, and then you go back and look at how they trained. Now, I'm not saying you don't lift weights. You have to lift weights. But I think there are different ways to attack certain types of muscles. Primer muscles is what I call them, the big muscles, squats. If you're trying to develop your thighs, well, you don't have to put a bar on your spine. You can do dumbbell squats. You can do, they got bars now where you can hold the bar in your hand and still go down and squat. So at the end of the day, parents, let's educate ourselves, okay? Just because you see 5,000 people jumping off the building don't mean that's the right way to do it, okay? Educate yourself, and just like Ms. Tree said, do your research. Instruct your kids correctly, give them the right advice, give them options, but most importantly, your job is to make sure that you give them the best opportunity to live a life.
Well, I think y'all hit it on the head. No doubt about it. We have to be more. I mean, like I said, just going back even to what we said earlier about the money going to high school players, and guys already thinking about money already. Matter of fact, the young man that we saw earlier, there were guys in there saying they had been watching him since middle school. Well, that's because how talented he was. So you already know. In basketball, we've already seen men and women, girls and boys, basically, basketball players being offered scholarships by Division I universities while they're still in middle school. Okay, we get it. I mean, everybody's trying to get a jump on the talent, but it might be too much. But we got another question we want to throw out there for those of you who are Falcons fans watching. After seeing the preseason game, I won't discuss the debacle that I saw, but I will ask this question. What did you think about the performance of third-string quarterback Felipe Franks playing the game? And do you think he could be the Falcons quarterback of the future? I'm going to try to share this screen here to see if I can get a little bit up of his highlights here on YouTube. Hopefully my screen will work this time. We probably won't hear any volume, but at least we'll be able to see him and what's going on here. So we're going to take a peek here at some of the highlights from Mr. Felipe Franks, and let's see if we can get him on here and take a peek here at him on YouTube, and we're going to try to share it right now. Here we go. You guys can see here he is quite the mobile guy in contrast to our current quarterback, Mr. Matt Ryan. He had a couple of nifty runs. He actually led the Falcons in rushing for the game. I think he had about 76 yards on the ground. Most of them came on a 52-yard run, but clearly he's got some wheels. And that's about all we can get there from our YouTube page that it continues to kind of spool and sputter. So we're going to take it out of there. So what do you guys think? Do you think that he's got the potential to be a guy that could be the answer for the Falcons down the road? Tyrone, you first.
Well, this is what I'll say for Mr. Franks. Of course, we see his competitiveness when we look at that film. We see his mobility. What I would want him to work on is to develop his intelligence of the game. And, of course, he has the height, the weight, work on your vision. Because you don't have to run the ball all the time. Sometimes when you scramble, Aaron Rodgers does a great job with it. He scrambles to create and buy time for receivers to get open. And sometimes as a young quarterback, you've been taught because of your athletic ability, hey, if the first read is not there, second read is not there, take off. But when you get into the pros, you're going to make your money by throwing the ball. So, I don't want to see him become like another RG3, someone that runs the ball and don't know when to, slide, because that's what you've been taught. But if he continue to work on his vision and just continue to work on his intelligence of the game and just learn as much as he can from Matt Ryan, I think, like you said, Minister, with his arm strength, his mobility, he could be that guy.
Sure, what do you think? I know that clip was a little erratic there because we're having some problems with it kind of stopping and freezing on YouTube, but do you think that he could be the heir apparent to the Falcons, or do we have to look somewhere else?
Well, I did like what I saw from the clip. I would actually need to see a little bit more from him in order to be able to assess that, just for the simple fact that we know when it comes to the preseason games, a lot of the guys that are out there, most of them probably are not going to make the actual final roster. So it's different going against them than when you're actually playing in regular season and you're going against these top guys that are gunning for your head to get sacks. So that's what I really want to see, what he looks like against those players. But again, from the clip that I saw, definitely it was a good clip and very promising. So if he continues to work on his game, he just may be that answer.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at the numbers. Like Tyrone said, basically the guy he's the size of a prototypical newer NFL quarterback, 6'6", about 238. Not sure what his 40 speed is, but he is nimble enough to get out of the pocket. He did that at Florida. The other thing I think that the Falcons like about him is that even I talked to some people who are big-time Florida boosters. They said the one thing that he's got, he seems to have great camaraderie with his teammates. It seems like his teammates really are engaged with him. He's got that likability factor, which you do need some of that out of your leaders. And he's got a big arm, which, the Falcons have shown over the years. Had Matt been able to throw a better deep ball, they might have a world championship or two under their belt. And last but not least, he has some familiarity with the guy they just bet the house on, Kyle Pitts. He played with Pitts for a year and a half over in Florida. He's familiar with him, familiar with what he can do. And I think a guy like Pitts can help a quarterback like him. We saw that when Michael Vick was here with Algie Crumpler. We saw that also the best year that Lamar Jackson had. I think his tight end had about 80 receptions. So we know that a big tight end, having that big safety valve target, will probably be the number 2 option on a quarterback that moves around and that can help him develop the game. So for me, I'm kind of bullish on Felipe Franks. I was excited when they drafted him. I do think he needs to develop the holes in his game, which are the timing pass and the short pass. But if he can do that, man, the Falcons might have something. Yeah. And at the end, they better, because Justin Fields is lighting it up in Chicago, baby.
Yes, he is. But It is great that he and Kyle Pitts are former teammates, and I'm pretty sure that they're practicing routes together and getting in a lot of throws and catches, which will be good for their chemistry once he does hit the field. And as you stated, yes, Justin Fields is definitely lighting it up in Chicago, and they're very happy that they drafted him. So we'll see how that continues to go.
Yeah, and also with Frank's, Felipe McCarron, AJ is the second quarterback, but he put enough pressure, and AJ he didn't help himself at all
Nothing.
in that preseason. So, Felipe did help himself by at least showing his mobility. And like you said, Minister, if he can continue to develop his intelligence of the game, he already has the arm, the size, the mobility, then yes, I definitely think he could be the heir apparent. But again, hey, he did a great job. That's the first game. Great job. Keep it going.
And yeah, we're going to see because, Arthur Smith has said it's all about the competition. He's going to play the guys that perform the best. So I would not be surprised to see Felipe Franks squaring off against the legitimate second team and to kind of see where he's at. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in practice, maybe taking a few snaps with the number one team. Probably not, but definitely that battle now for backup is going to be a big one. Well, as always, guys, hang on 1 second. We're going to go to social media really quickly here. We got our good friend H.C. Hardy in the building. And I don't know where my glasses are, so I'm going to have you guys read his comments if you don't mind.
I was at the game. Franks has one thing that AJ and Matt doesn't have, which is ability to scramble. However, with the right QB coach, he can develop into a good QB.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much echoing what we've been saying. There's no doubt with some good home training, he could develop into be really a top tier quarterback because he's got everything you need physically. He's a big guy, so that means he can see over the top of the rush. He's got a big arm, throws a very good deep ball, but he's going to have to really kind of hone in on his accuracy and those timing routes, which, like, Tyrone will tell you that 1-2 let it go or 1-2-3 let it go. That's the kind of bread and butter of the NFL game. So that's really it. Hardy said he reminds me of a young Randall Cunningham with the curl. Well, bro, yeah, I'm going to have to take a step back on that, buddy. That was my day. Yeah, he got a ways to go before he gets to Randall Cunningham status. Randall Cunningham was a great quarterback, a guy that had not only a rocket arm, but a guy that was a great runner, but he was a good quarterback. He wasn't just a guy that could, throw and run. He could do it all. He played the quarterback position. So, again, I feel you. He could develop into that, but he ain't that right now. All right, speaking of right now, we got to go. All right, so we know how we do. We like to let everybody know how they can find out more about you. So, Mr. Tyrone Poole, the floor is yours.
Tyrone Poole 38 on all social media. Tyrone Poole 38. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Tree. Enjoyed it.
He says that so fast, it's hard for me to get it up in time. Let me try to grab it somewhere here. Here we go. Tyrone Poole 38. Now, if y'all can't find him with that, there's something wrong with you. I'm just saying. All right, that's pretty straightforward at Tyrone Poole 38. All right, Tyrone, God bless you, bro. See you next week.
God bless you guys too.
All right, the lovely queen, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. I just want to say that today is National Nonprofit Day, so find a nonprofit and hopefully give back. And you can find me on all social media at It's Latresa, and you can also find me at Ms. America International 2020.
There you go. And as always, see you next week. I'm gonna add her back up. She disappeared. Up. All right, guys. You can find out more about me. Follow the show as well. There it is. Follow the show at Real Talk Sports 7. You can follow me at Minister J Sims. No problem. If you want to reach me, hit me up on the email, jsimmons@realtalksports.net, or you can give us a call, 678-304-8121, or you can call me on the cell even, 678-410-9833 to reach me. I got to keep it real brief because I got to go. If you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior, the mighty Yeshua HaMashiach, that's his government name, please, man, please, sir, get to know him today. You can see this world is in all kinds of chaos, and the only way that you can really have a life well lived is through him. And that's how you can get to the happy place when you leave here called heaven and avoid that nasty, bad place called hell. I don't know about you, but I like option number one a whole lot better than option number two. All right, guys, until the next time you see us again, God bless you and good night.
Bye.